Looks like we're live. Good morning. Good morning. I hope you can hear me okay. I woke up this morning to my computer and nothing is working. My earpiece that I use is not working. The mics are a little suspect. So we're going to get through this morning with your patience, but I appreciate you joining me. If at some point you can't hear me, throw it in the chat, throw it in the comments. I'll see it and try to figure out I don't know. I must have pissed off the technology gods at some point between Monday and today. So it looks like it's maybe working. We'll see what happens. All right. This morning, we're going to do a little show and tell. And this video, if you lead an organization or if you lead a team, this video is for you this morning. So I'm kind of digressing a little bit from the, top 50 countdown tips and career tips. This morning, we're going to talk about something you do not do as the leader of an organization and the leader of a team. So this falls into the guise of that sounded better in your head than you actually doing it because you kind of bad judgment calls. So if you're a leader of an organization, leader of a team, listen up. I want to walk you through couple of things that have happened over the past 24 hours that should be a warning sign, a cautionary note and tale for all of you in your organizations. So I want to actually do the show and tell this morning. I'm actually going to bring up, you guys can see on the screen, hopefully. Let me see if I can make that larger for you. You're looking at LinkedIn. And I know I'm live on LinkedIn this morning and YouTube. I might be on all channels this morning, not sure, but hopefully you can see that. You can see that says 19 hours ago. This was the post, layoffs latest, companies making cuts. And you can literally scroll through this and see all the companies that are still having layoffs. Whether we're in a recession or not, gas prices are down for the last 58 days in a row. Companies are still laying people off. And yes, I'm coming back to this layoff theme because we still are seeing a lot of volatility in the workplace. And you can just look at this list of companies. And again, I'll try to let me make it a little bit larger. Let me just cover my face with this. There we go. Can you guys see those list of companies that are, so this is 19 hours ago, layoffs, companies are still making cuts. You can just see this is a little bit of every kind of industry, a lot of different groups and industries are represented here. Okay, let me just take that back down because I want to make a point on this. And of course, my mouse, come on, man. There we go. All right. Well, now we lost it. There we go. All right. I'm going to leave that there and I'm going to switch over to why we're doing this video this morning. So this is the CEO. If you didn't see it in the news yet, Google it. It popped up in my LinkedIn feed. This is under the guise of things you don't do if you lead an organization or if you lead a team. Now, my role this morning is not to criticize this guy nor the next person I'm going to show you. It is to help you think through the sensitivity of this moment when people are losing their jobs and their livelihoods are at stake. So this is a CEO who posted online a picture of himself crying after he laid off some of his employees. He's a CEO, as you can see there, of Hypersocial. And this is all over the internet right now, New York Post, all the newspapers. This is all over the place. And the reason I bring this up this morning is because you can read it for yourself. It's there on the screen. The post is all about him and not his employees who just lost their jobs. The post is he hated to do the layoffs. He's really sad. He hopes his employees love him. And the backlash, and look at this on LinkedIn, guys. I mean, it's there for you to look at. If you scroll down, the backlash is fierce. It is fierce. So people are literally going, what are you talking about that you posted? Post a picture to help your employees get new jobs. Don't post a picture of yourself crying. So this has gone viral. This is all over the place. People are just losing their minds over it. But now let me give you another example. This person, this CEO, so the last guy just posted the picture of himself and said, I've had layoffs. I'm really sorry. Picture of him crying, nothing about his employees. This CEO actually posts the names of laid off workers on social media. So now you've got like the goalpost here. The guy who posts a picture of himself crying, making it all about him. And then you have a CEO here on CBS News website that actually posted the names of his employees online. You can see the headline there. CEO faces backlash after he shares the names of laid off workers on social media. Okay, so you have two very different examples. If you're in a leadership role right now, you have two very different examples of what not to do, whether it's layoffs or you're firing people, or probably just under the rule of thumb of ever making this something you want to put on social media. So let me come out of this for a second and let's have a conversation about this, because I, first of all, have never seen anything like this. Second of all, this has gotten pretty crazy in terms of now you have employees' names actually on social media. You got the guy crying. Now you actually have names on social media. So I wanted to address this topic this morning. One, because I still have many of you coming to me. I do not have my, there we go. I see the comments coming in. Sorry about that. Did not have them pulled up. So look, I am not, I am not casting dispersions. I am not disparaging anybody. I have been the one doing the firing and I have been the one being fired. And it sucks being in both places. But if you're the one doing the layoffs and if you are a leader of a team in an organization, with all due respect, nobody cares because you still have your job. The person you just laid off, the person who just got fired, the person who has to go home and tell their wife or their husband or their partner or whomever that they just lost their job. I've been in that spot and it sucks. So to have a CEO post a picture online of them crying and making it all about them, or the names being posted on social media, is outrageous in terms of poor decision making. So if you are the leader of an organization or if you are the leader of a team, I implore you this morning, I'm not going half an hour in this video because this should be common sense. Clearly it's not. So let's just talk through some of the things you can do instead of posting stuff on social media. And guys, we've talked about this. Not everything needs to be on social media. And if you're the leader of an organization or team, you've got to have better judgment than that. You just do. You have to have better judgment than to expose certainly names of employees on social media. I mean, you just kind of upended their lives and now you broadcasted it for everybody on social media to see. You have to have better judgment than that. But let's talk about maybe what you should be doing, because like I said, I still have people coming to me all the time who are getting laid off, or maybe who are looking for job searches. Maybe they're trying to figure out, like, hey, what do I do? Is there opportunity for me right now because my boss just got fired? That was the call I got on Tuesday of this week. My boss just got fired. What do I do about that? Do I sit here and hunker down? Do I, try to step into that role and stabilize our team? Like, what do I do? So these questions are coming in, and this is real people's lives we're talking about here. So I want to implore you, if you're the leader of an organization, leader of a team, and you're looking at this thinking, I would never do that, okay. Talk to your executive team, talk to your senior leadership team, send a note out to all of your managers in your organization. This is not acceptable. That's the first thing I implore you to do. Make sure this, you may say you didn't do it, but clearly others are. So make sure that there is a clear communication plan in your organization, that you are not putting these folks at risk any more than they already are by putting names on social media, or certainly exploiting the situation by posting a picture of yourself. I'm also going to implore you and ask you, if you're the leader of an organization or leader of a team, try to help the employees you just laid off to find a new job. Now, if you look further into the comments, after that dude got totally blasted on social media, he says further down, oh, well, my employees have all been hired. They all have new jobs. Why didn't he say that at first? I don't know. Or maybe they didn't have new jobs. I don't know if he helped them find new jobs. What I'm telling you right now is that anybody who reaches out to me, and I don't even have employees, I'm leveraging my network to help them. So I ask you the question, how are you leveraging your network to help your employees who've been laid off? I would ask you to consider that. If HR says, well, you can't do that, I would go to HR and just say, look, maybe they were laid off, not fired. I'd like to help this person. Make sure you stay on the right side of HR policies. But to leverage your network to help someone who just got laid off in your organization, please, please, please reach out to those individuals and tell them you are there to help. Because one of these days, you may be on the other side, and it may be you wishing someone reached out to you for help. So leverage your network to help those who are being laid off right now. And please, please, please try to help them as much as you can. Maybe I'll end with this because I see a lot of comments are coming in and I want to get to those. I don't know where empathy and compassion went, but boy, I'd like to see it come back right now. That this is not all about money or the organization or business decisions that maybe you've made that were wrong decisions. I don't know where the empathy, I don't know where the compassion is gone. But if you're the leader of an organization, leader about a team, it's not about you. The compassion and empathy needs to go to your team, those who've been laid off, maybe even those who are still there who are now scared to death. They're going to be laid off. But I implore you, it's not about you. It's not about you. And I don't know that layoffs are going to subside anytime soon because that list keeps getting longer and longer and longer. So if you're the leader of an organization or leader of a team this morning, I'm going to hope this is common sense. Clearly, it's not. I'm going to ask you to think about your actions before you start posting things on social media. Think about the people you are impacting negatively if you put their name on social media. Think about the picture if you put it on about, oh my gosh, I just laid off my employees. Nobody cares about you. It's not about you. And the part of being a great leader, maybe that's what I should have entitled this video. Part of being a great leader is knowing it's not about you, it's about your people. It's about how you show up in that moment when no one's watching. That's called character and integrity. So this morning, I'm going to get to the comments, guys. I see a lot are coming in. I'm going to ask you to have the character and integrity that you should have when no one's watching, and be a leader who steps up to serve your team and the folks who just got laid off, not serve yourself and make this all about you. That's the wrong way to go about this. So, if you're watching this video this morning, Google those examples. They're on LinkedIn. They popped up in my feed yesterday. Guys, use that as the case study in your organization for the next couple of days. When you do your team meetings and your one-on-ones, pull those up on the screen in your conference room or on your Zoom call and use that as the example of what not to do in this moment. Because keep in mind, you just literally just upended somebody's life. It's not about you and it's not about your organization and it's certainly not about your bottom line. So use these moments, these examples as a case study of what not to do so that it doesn't happen in your organization or to your employees as well. And I'm not going to get on my soapbox. I saw that and I was flabbergasted for the employees. Again, I've been on both sides of that equation. Nobody cares when you lay people off that you lost sleep over it or that you're upset and you're sad. You still have a job. So I'm going to say this morning, before I get to comments, if you're the leader of an organization or team, where's your judgment? Where's your compassion? Where's your empathy? Where's your helping hand for the person who just lost their job? Not about you and your ego and your bottom line in your business. Guys, you got to get your priorities straight. And I think we just saw a couple of examples this morning of folks who absolutely do not have their priorities straight. So use these examples as a case study in your next team meeting next week or your next one-on-ones of what not to do in this moment when it comes to serving, because that's what leadership is all about, serving your employees and those who are separating from your organization. Chris Prouty says, this is such an important topic. I'm grateful with some of your aptitude, confidence, and experiences covering it. Chris, I don't know if it's aptitude, confidence, and experience, or if it's just my heart goes out to those people. Because if I would have been on, if that would have now look, I say if that would have happened to me, crap, it kind of did. I mean, I don't know. My name was skewered in the press when I got fired, and that sucked. So maybe it did happen to me. I don't know. Whatever happened, this these examples touched a nerve, and I thought, wow, what poor leadership is being exhibited right now in these tense moments when people need to show up and be present for their people. So I appreciate that, Chris. But maybe it's because I've been there and I know how bad it sucks. I'm going to make a bold statement and suggest the crying CEO was 100% a marketing move. I thought about that too. Listen, it very well could have been a marketing move. That makes me even more sad and enraged if that's the case. But to be a CEO and be that tone deaf, maybe, maybe. Like I said, I'm not trying to cast judgment on the guy. I want everyone watching this video to learn from those horrible examples of what not to do in these moments. And Ramona says, this is so sad. Thanks for helping leaders be more sensitive and empathetic. Yeah, Ramona, you know this. I mean, you've certainly been in leadership roles in your journey, if I remember our phone call correctly. And it's easy to lose sight of the folks who are being impacted here, negatively impacted versus yourself. So I am going to implore this sensitivity and empathy. And if you're in HR right now, you should be all over this, that this is not happening in your organization. And Eileen says at the moment, layoffs are widespread. However, unemployment's at its lowest level ever. Yeah, it's a weird market right now. You've had people contacting you who are laid off and are frustrated by the job search process. Yeah, I mean, unemployment's what, 3.5, 3.4 based on last week's job numbers. I should know this because this is my day job. I think it was 3.4. Gas prices are down 58 days in a row. Bam, bam, bam. Look at that list of layoffs that are still happening. So, Eileen, I agree with you. There's certainly some imbalance or fear still happening, that layoffs are that widespread. And it started off as tech layoffs, if you kind of Google it, and now it's widespread throughout all kinds of industries. So, I agree with you, Eileen. It's continuing. If someone believes they may be laid off, what steps can they take now to prepare for the situation? Chris, I will link above and below to the video I did on how to prepare for being laid off. I went through maybe a week or two ago, maybe even 3 weeks ago, when someone reached out to me about being laid off, someone I'd worked with. I did a video walking you through the steps you should do. Chris, so thank you for that question. I will link to that. I'll put it up here if you're watching the replay. If you're here with me live, I'll put it in the comments as soon as we're done. Eileen says, put your best effort forward, job seekers, to ensure that you get hired to increase your chances of becoming the company's preferred candidate. Yeah, Eileen, this is right up your alley here. So that's great advice. Chris, thanks for putting my link. Folks can always click on my link if they want to have a conversation about this. Certainly, if you are a leader in an organization, you can grab a few minutes on my calendar. It's a free call about how to be more empathetic and sensitive, to Ramona's point, in these moments of great tension and trial for your team and for the individuals that are on your team. So, Chris, thanks for popping that in there. I appreciate that. It's always right here in the corner of my videos. That's my calendar link for you guys to jump on. I will be addressing this more, this idea of empathetic and sensitive servant leadership, if you will. I send out weekly career advice to your inbox. That's right there. So you get an email from me every Thursday. I'm going to get more into this servant leadership, empathetic, sensitive leadership, because it's certainly, I guess it's needed. I kind of thought everybody knew about these principles and these ideas, but clearly some don't. So I'm going to start addressing this on my weekly career newsletter. If you guys want to sign up there, that's free as well. Eileen says it would have been kinder of the CEO to provide outplacement services. Exactly. To their laid off employees. Exactly. Don't post it on social media. Help them find another job. Eileen, I completely agree. Outplacement services, whatever they need. I mean, I didn't get into the money piece because I don't want to make this about money, but goodness gracious, I hope they got some kind of a severance package or some kind of financial remuneration to help them while they're. But I agree with you. There's a whole host of things these folks, these CEOs could have done that I don't know if they did or not, because it certainly didn't make it into their social media post. And I think that's probably the sad part about it, Eileen. They didn't put anything what they were doing to help in their social media post. They just said, "I feel so bad." And it's like I don't know. It's probably the worst, one of the worst examples of leadership I've ever seen. Chris says, "Oh, this is okay, this is going to sound totally tinfoil hat, but imagine a world where the CEO says, 'Look, you three, I'm going to lay you off. You're going to get to collect unemployment for a little while. I'm going to make a big splash on social media, which is then going, which is going, wait a minute, what? Which is going to then, okay, China spotlight on this more expensive product that we have. And when it starts selling, I'm going to hire you back.' Total conspiracy theory, I realize." Well, okay. Um, I haven't had enough coffee to write that this morning, so you're 5 steps ahead of me. Chris, I actually don't know that that is a conspiracy theory, and here's why. If the dude who's crying, what did I forgot the name of the company, Hypersocial, the Hypersocial CEO who's crying, I don't know. He says in the post he made a bad business decision, and that's the reason they got laid off. So he didn't blame it on the recession per se. He did say there were some, difficult financial times, but he blamed it on a bad decision that he made that he didn't move away from fast enough. So there may be a little bit of a connection to what you're saying there in terms of, hey, I'm going to lay you off. I'm going to try to fix this decision and make a big deal out of it. And then, I don't know, and bring you back. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, that's certainly plausible. But read that post, Chris, because, yeah, he talks about some decision that he made personally in the business, marketing, product, service, something that did not go well. And now he's trying to undo that decision. So maybe this is his way of kind of bringing attention to hypersocial. Yeah, maybe. Voice to text. Sorry. I love that you use the voice to text all the time. You are better at that than I am. So I, yeah, it's okay, Chris. It was a good point, Chris. I'm glad you brought it up. Look, I don't know the driving force. I try not, I don't want to impugn motives. I don't want to, like I said, disparage these folks. What I think everyone should take away from this is we are in that volatile moment where, we have a labor shortage everywhere you go. Unemployment's low, layoffs are high. Like, it's just chaos. And trying to make sense of that chaos is very difficult if you're on the layoff end of that chaos. Very difficult to understand. So I kind of go back to kind of where we started this conversation, which is, if you're the leader of an organization or a team, what are you doing to serve your people right now? If you're laying folks off, what kind of conversation is that? What kind of conversation is happening? There's literally a guy who got laid off who filmed the entire conversation, and it's on YouTube. He posted the entire conversation that his boss had with him. It's on YouTube. It was not the nicest, kindest, we're letting you go kind of conversation. So I ask you, if you're the leader of an organization or a team, how are you showing up in this moment? How are you showing up? That's the question you have to ask yourself. And I appreciate all the comments that have come in, everybody. Thank you for your time. Look up those examples and use them as case studies. That's the best I can tell you. Not to repeat those same mistakes, because mistakes is probably putting it lightly. So I leave you with that on a Thursday morning. After that, I'm going to go grab more coffee. I hope you have a great day. I'll see you back here on Monday at 9:30 a.m. for more career conversation and talk and tips. Have a great day, everybody.